Don't everyone thank me at once. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 4, I believe, of issue 94. And in this part, we're going to paint these, get some weathering on them, all that kind of fun stuff. So, last time I mentioned that I got a new airbrush. I don't like the idea of the top cup airbrushes trying to mix in the cup, because I feel like you're not going to mix them very well. So I've got this mixing container here, and it's basically just one of these bottles, but never been used. So you can buy them like this. It's just empty, and you can mix in it. So I've mixed what was left of this neutral gray, and I went ahead and thinned it with the thinner. And I did this the other night. I set up my new airbrush and all that kind of fun stuff. So I double checked that I was mixing at the right ratio and all those things. And so now the best part about this is, this color I use quite a bit, so much so that I've had to buy extra. It's a great, it's neutral gray, right? So it's a great gray to use, and it's a nice medium gray. So it's going to serve the purpose for what I got to do for these. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to paint these, but I'm also going to paint, so this part here goes between the mandibles, and then there's the part that sticks out on the top and the bottom, right? I'm going to paint those parts as well. The bottom one, I've got a couple images to see what it looks like. The top one, I have no idea, so I'm just going to give it my best shot. I'm going to do a couple trial passes on this because I want to make sure that I'm brushing correctly. I got my pressure right and get really used to how this airbrush paints before I get started. But the good news is there's not a lot of spots where there's going to be any of this gray. So let me show you all the images that I'm going to use, and there's quite a few. So if you can see, there's only a handful that have any kind of gray on them. We're going to try to get those done and kind of go from there. Now there's a couple that looks like there may need to be some masking, and so we're going to do the masking as needed and kind of go from there. So this one. So we'll do a little bit of the masking, and we will, after we finish with the masking, we'll yeah, and so this one here, I can't quite tell if it really needs to be masked or if I'm gonna just have to, I'll just do a little spray right here, and then the rest I'll paint by hand, I think, is probably how I'm going to do it. Because there's not a lot going on there, and I don't want to get air or paint everywhere, so I'm just going to do a little spritz right here. So what I'm going to do, let's prep these. I'm going to tape where I need to and kind of go from there. So So there's that. I'll be able to spray this here. The rest of this I'm going to do by hand. So yeah, and as I'm doing that, I'll show specifically the sections that I'm doing. So I am going to um, do a test, and then just so I can get this done right, and then these will get painted. The rest of these are going to be done differently. So there's going to be additional, um, you know, methods being used for those. So, all right, I'm going to go do that. We'll come back. We'll see how it comes out. Well, here we are. Uh, so that came out rather well, I think. Let's just peel this off. Maybe. So you can see that one came out pretty well. Basically the way I wanted it. And this one, I was just looking to something to kind of help that shadow, and I think I accomplished that. So it looks more distinct for a shadow. And this one, what I did with this one was I sprayed down, so that way kind of lessen the hard lines. Hopefully that worked. I still have some hard lines, but that's okay because we're going to blend them a little bit, and I don't think it's going to be all that bad. So, and if I needed to, we could always kind of do one of these, which I might do because we can always get the alcohol out. We don't need this here any longer. All right. Now we've got some hand painting to do. All right, I need to go wash this brush, and then we're going to come back and do some washes and the rust and stuff, and then we'll go from there. See you in a few. Okay, I'm going to try a couple different things here. So I've got this brown. It's supposed to be panel line accent, but what I want to try to do is I'm going to just kind of put it on like that and see how that goes. If I have to, I can do a couple of different layers of it, right? I have to shake it up or something. Directions. Do not apply onto enamel parts. Shake well or stir with a stick. We're going to shake it because it's square. I do believe that's all for this color. I'm going to switch over to the black. I've already kind of mixed it up. Get my stuff all kinds of discombobulated here. So I'm going to do this black because I think it's more of a wash. It should be able to wash over lots of stuff. All right, so this one, I'll pick it up and show it to you, but it's going to be really difficult. So the whole goal for this one was just make it look dirty and grimy. And I would say we accomplished that. So we're going to go back through some of these other ones real quick and try to get an idea of if we need to do the same type of thing with any of these others. I don't think so. One thing with the washes kind of makes it rough is sometimes you have to come back and make it darker, like with these browns, particularly this one. And over here, need to get it darker. And so only way to do that is to actually do it more. So that's what we're going to do. While I'm here. All right. I'm going to go wash this brush, and then we'll come back and do some more of these browns to darken some of these up. So I need to let all this dry, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to do some rust and any final color that we need to do. Did I get bleed, or did I peel up some paint? Might have gotten a little bit of bleed. I'll touch that up. I don't know how I got any bleed in there, but we'll touch that up. Not to worry. Right now it looks like a smiley face. All right, we'll let this dry. We'll come back and touch up with rust and any other touch-ups that we need to do to darken things or whatever. So see you guys back here after a bit. Okay, so everything's dry. This is what we got so far. I need to kind of put these up against the images and see how they come out, what they look like. So this one, these two go together. So I need to darken that up, obviously, because this is significantly more dark and still damp. So apparently not completely dry, but those two go together, so I need to make sure that those match. Yeah, so this one, I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. It just needed to look like it was grimy and dirty, and it looks grimy and dirty. You can see a bit of a gloss. It's still a tad bit damp, not completely dry, but dry enough to pick up and handle. But I need to just go through and evaluate how all of these look. This one goes with this like that. I just need to see how they all look together, make sure that this doesn't need to carry over and all that kind of stuff, and see if I need to darken anything up or any of that kind of stuff before I move on to the next step. And unfortunately, I'm just running out of time for getting that done on this video. Between scheduling and all that kind of stuff, this took a lot longer than I was actually expecting. Particularly because I still want to wait for this to dry, and I just am not going to have time to put the rust on and still do the other parts that are on the actually on the upper and lower hulls, those underneath parts. So I'm going to have to extend the um, I'm going to have to extend uh, the weathering part to another episode. So I will do that. The next part will take care of the remainder of this, and should go this part, weathering of this, the rest and all that kind of stuff. That part will go pretty quick. It'll just be painting those other parts, and that shouldn't be all that horrible either. But we'll do that all next time, and that will wrap up this issue. So we'll have a part 5. All right. Well, sorry for dragging things out, but like I said, I just ran out of time. Thank you everybody for watching this episode, and may the force be with you always.